Hi and Assalamualaikum to Madam BUSHRA binti Muhammad ZAKI, our lecturer for FIN533 Personal Financial Planning. My group members and I will be presenting our last assignment, which is our chosen topics of retirement planning and investment planning. Allow me to first introduce our team members before we begin our presentation. From the left side, SHADATUL binti Muhammad SOFI, which is me. Next to me is SYAMILAH binti ZULKEFLE. Next is NURIN DAMIA SHAMIMI binti SALEH UDIN. And lastly, KHALILAH binti ISHAK. For an easier guide, the content on this slide is arranged as follows. Starting with the acknowledgement, next is the summary, table of content and introduction including background and purpose, followed by the importance and current issues. The other content is the statistical information and any other related information, and lastly, the conclusions and recommendation. We begin the presentation with summary of this report. First and foremost, since we're taking personal financial subject for this semester, what we understand about financial planning as a whole is financial planning gives individuals direction and purpose for their financial decisions as well as clarity in life. Financial planning is a methodical process for estimating the amount of capital that will be needed and figuring out how to get it. Simply said, it aids in better financial management by helping people keep track of their earning, costs, and assets. Individuals should take into account both their present financial situation and their hopes for the future while creating a financial plan. To relate how important financial planning is, we can look at the situation where Malaysia was once a country that had severe effect from the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. Which caused the local economy drastically deteriorate at that time. This ought to have a significant effect on everyone's awareness of the value of financial planning to equip oneself to deal with unforeseen circumstances. For this group project, our group will emphasize only two topics, which are retirement planning and investment planning. Move on to the introduction of the retirement and investment planning background and purpose. Planning for retirement involves making financial and other preparation for life after a paid work period's end. The non-financial aspects include lifestyles, decisions including how you spend your time in retirement, when you live, where you live when you entirely stop working, and the other things. Planning for retirement when you are young usually only involves saving enough money. It may shift in the midst of the career to establishing precise income or asset goals and taking the necessary action to achieve them. When you retire, decades of saving will start to pay off. Next, what is investment planning? Investment is the process of determining one's financial objective and turning them into a plan. The core of financial planning is investment planning. Identification of goals and objectives is the first step in the investment planning process. Then, we must balance those objectives with financial resources at our disposal. There are numerous investment vehicles available today, with cash, shares, bonds, and real estate being the most popular. In order to achieve our aims and objectives, we can invest based on the funds we have available. The purpose why we should practice implementing retirement planning in our life is because first, keep an eye on inflation. The average cost of products and services will fluctuate over time. However, inflation is the general tendency for prices to increase. The value of the money you have saved may decline over time as a result of inflation. The first step is to start saving money for retirement, and it's best to do and it's best to do so as soon as you can. One advantage of retirement planning is that if you accumulate more, you have a bigger safety net against future inflation. Next, retirement planning purpose to save for potential medical expenses. It can be difficult to imagine your health deteriorating as you get older. However, the majority of us will in fact need some kind of ongoing medical care once we reach retirement age. In fact, according to one study, there is 70% likelihood that someone turning 65 today will eventually require long-term care. Last but not least, relax and enjoy your retirement. You ought to be able to enjoy your retirement once you have officially retired. Without having to worry about running out of money, you should be able to pursue new interests and activities that you enjoy. By making plans in advance, you may reduce a lot of this tension and be sure that you are setting aside the proper amount of money. The purpose of investment planning is for the standard of living. In difficult times, the savings generated by the investment are quite helpful. For instance, the death of the family's breadwinner has a significant impact on the level of living. At that point, the worker person's investment serves as a valuable source of income for the family. Furthermore, a person can manage income effectively by using an investing strategy. It is relatively double to manage a person's income and expenses well. Managing income enables one to control other expenses, tax obligation, and many more. Lastly, family security from the perspective of ensuring the safety of your family. Investment planning is crucial. The family investment will ensure the financial security of the other members even in the event that something will happen to the working member. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter.
Now, I will explain about the retirement and investment planning because it can help us to wisely control our financial planning. First of all, what is retirement planning? Retirement planning is how we prepare for our future life so that we may proceed to fulfill our goals and dreams. Setting retirement goals, predict how much money needed, and invest to increase retirement funds are part of the retirement planning process. We need to remember clearly that everyone has their own thoughts on how they want to spend their retired life, and that's one of the reasons why that's important to have retirement planning. Firstly, to stay financially independent. In order to continue your lifestyle after you retire, you need to have a proper retirement planning to help you maintain your lifestyle. Usually, when people retire, people often do not have their own saving income, and that makes them unable to continue their lifestyle and need to do extra work to support their life even after they retire. This retirement planning is a good help to meet our daily expenses and our financial goals after retirement. Secondly, it can help us to meet our financial goals. Everyone has their own expectation and goals after they retire. Someone wants to travel, and someone to open their own business, and someone to continue their hobbies. This retirement planning is not only will support your basic necessities like foods, but also can fulfill your financial goals for retirement without any concern. Next, retirement planning can help your family. This retirement planning not only will help yourself, but also can give benefit to your family. Even when you are dead, you can ensure that your children will have a comfortable life because of the retirement plan money you leave behind. Lastly, it can help to be emergency ready. This will help you to save for anticipated events by establishing emergency funds with retirement planning, because sometimes it's a bit uncomfortable to borrow someone money to pay for your own expenses. Firstly, as a long-term return on investment, you can gain value over time and be unaffected by the change in the nation's broader economy. It means the longer you invest, the more income you can make. Secondly, the second source of income. This is one of the excellent plans for those who had a hard time with their income and a dream for them if they invest in the right place. A smart investing strategy will help you to find another income sources. Thirdly, it will help you to protect your beloved future. The pandemic and epidemic that happened today has shown that we cannot predict our life or future. Therefore, in order to ensure family future, you need to consider an investment plan because it can help them to pursue their dreams and goals without any worries even if you are dead. Lastly, a road for child education. Parents need to have a proper funds for their children education in order for them to comfortably continue their studies. And in order to solve this situation, parents can purchase any proper education investment plan for their children, which is big help for parents and their child. Lots of current issue that can be discussed about retirement and investment planning, especially during pandemic. One of the current issue about retirement planning in Malaysia is the government has raised the retirement age for employees. Government believe that these issues are one of the alternatives to help citizens who have saving problems, and because of the demographic age, majority of Malaysian citizens depend on the EPF to cover their retirement obligations. Because of this issue, employees cannot access their EPF fund for prolonged period, and someone who has shorter life might be unable to obtain their hard-earned money during their life. The Malaysian Employees Federation also said it is not the right time to raise the minority retirement age of 60 because the government can lose over 1 million work prospects for fresh graduates. Employers also can have problem because it will lead to unproductivity work performance, and also company need to pay for the expensive medical expenses because most of the insurance company are not interested to cover elderly employees. Because of COVID-19 pandemic, many people have encountered difficulties including investors. Based on the article, around 85% Malaysian investors are reconsidering the investment because people need to rearrange their financial well-being. Most of them are from professional investors who are more inclined than beginners and amateur investors. In 2020, it is one of the practical years because around 58% of people save according to their planning, and 28% save money greater than they planned, and 15% do not save money as they planned. During the lockdown, people have divided into two categories, which are people who are saving without investing and someone who is interested in investing. Around 51% investors put money into risk-free financial assets, and 38% of them put money into high-risk financial assets. This pandemic has made all the investors feel anxious about the investment process and the unpredictability of risk. But it also teaches the investor to be more composed and when making an investment because we cannot predict our future and need to focus on long-term goals.
Statistical information. Statistical information of retirement. Retirement among Malaysians is on track, which is up to 12%, but 55% of them do not know how to become financially independent enough to do so. Based on a survey made by Milio Insight, a user information and analyst firms that hire survey participants ranking in age 18 to 49 years old from Thailand, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and the Philippines, disclosed that although many strive to retire early, just a limited number of persons overview go on track. The financial independence retire early fire that is used in the survey is primarily concerning vigorously restricting steps as well as discovering various income sources in order to attain early economic independence. The study data demonstrate that regular saving 71%, accompanied by doing financial planning 63% and investing 66%, represent the most typical method for early retirement among Malaysians, implying that Malaysians are still primarily hands-on when it comes to retirement planning. Malaysians most commonly invest in investment funds, 72%, which are attempted by financial experts who make all financial decisions. Numerous different popular financial types include stock, 66%, gold, 66%, and real estate, 65%. Only 25% of Malaysians admit to have economic assistance to assist them to organize for pensions. Despite their lack of knowledge of the financial independence retire early progression, Malaysians are working harder towards retirement plans. With 35% of people responding they are going to be saving up to 20% of their earnings, in general, the majority's mindset toward financial independence is retire early. Only 40% of Malaysians believe moderately optimistic regarding their experience toward attaining early retirement, whereas 30% claims they are extremely optimistic. Types of investment contribution in saving account. It has the potential to pay for unforeseen expenses, purchase short-term property, or take a holiday. To prevent excessive spending, it is suggested to move the money from your saving account to your investing account at the beginning of the month. Saving account types have three types, which is the first one is individual saving account, joint saving account for association, society, and clubs. Statistical information of investment. Around 85% of Malaysian shareholders have spent more time thinking about their banking well-being and recognizing their household budget because the COVID-19 pandemic began. According to Schroders, Malaysians check the profit on a daily basis, with 52% checking the value at least once a week. It also stated that shareholders' return perceptions are rationally positive, with an average annual total return assumption of 13% over the next 5 years. Regardless of the difficulties of 2020, it was a positive year for investments, with 58% of people saving as much as they planned, 28% saving more, and 15% not saving as much as they planned. Furthermore, there has been a split in people saving and investing behavior since the government's shutdown was lifted. Overall, 58% of the population has increased their cost saving. This is despite the fact that 51% have increased their investment in low-risk assets and 38% have increased their investments in high-risk assets. In Malaysia, the effects of the disease outbreak is becoming more visible in people's retirement plans. As a result of the disease outbreak, approximately 80% of non-retired people wish to save more for retirement. In the after effect of COVID-19, 20% of non-retired people believe they will retire later, 50% believe they will retire at the same age, and 30% believe they will retire earlier. Based on the research, people seeking guidance towards saving and investing is 56%, for mortgage or loan consulting is 41%, retirement planning 32%, and for debt counseling only 22%. Many people suggest doing things on their own rather than consulting an expert. They clarified that they dislike banking firms and government agencies.
Hi. Alright, so to conclude it, making financial and other preparations for living after a paid work period ends is referred to as a retirement planning. The non-financial factors include things like where you live, how you spend your time in retirement, and other things. Retirement planning is stressed to varying degrees at separate phases of life. When you are young, retirement planning just entails accumulating enough money. Meanwhile, investment planning is the foundation of financial planning. The first stage in the process of designing an investing strategy is to identify goals and objectives. Then we must strike a balance between those goals and the available financial resources. It is necessary to compare the rates of return and risk related to each investment instrument, including stocks, bonds, gold, real estate, and life insurance. Uh, as we know, Malaysians rely on the Employees Provident Fund (EPF) to pay for their retirement responsibilities. But as a result, the employees were unable to access their EPF funds for a considerable amount of time. The mandatory retirement age of 60 should not now be raised due to the 10.8% youth employment rate, according to the Malaysian Employers Federation (MEF). You can invest today, tomorrow, or whenever you feel ready. The objectives is to grow the value of your money over time through the returns from these compounds effects, which might boost its future purchasing power and enable you to live comfortably on retirement. As you can see, retirement planning is required for a variety of reasons. You need to be proactive if you want to reach your retirement objectives. The earlier you start thinking about retirement, the better off you will be eventually. There are hundreds of ways that can help you maximize the next 25 years or more of your life if you are close to retiring. So, here are the recommendations. Firstly, every person should regularly assess their retirement plan, considering the success of their retirement assess or revisit it depending on specific life phases to include adjustment and new criteria. The best scenario would be annual evaluations, which is every 5 years, considering the different life stages. You will acquire a collection of data points to base your future investment on or shift and update them for higher returns by routinely monitoring the status of your investments, assessing your assets, and accounting for any changes in your life. To avoid unexpected market fluctuations that might have a detrimental influence on the retirement fund when it's needed, people who started their retirement planning later should have their portfolio lean toward lower risk options. Understanding how the retirement plan functions lower the likelihood that it will need to be revised and recalibrate because of unexpected changes in investing criteria and preferences. Alright, and next, about retirement is a time when insurance products are important because they assist in providing financial stability and reducing health concerns should they ever materialize. Not only does insurance provide protections, but it also lessens the likelihood that serious disease or crisis may drain your resources. An extended medical plan should be considered since that case it protects your MS assets by avoiding the need to withdraw funds from your retirement account to pay for medical expenses. Regular healthcare costs are essential, but if you want to keep your physical and mental health in excellent shape, it is also critical to spend money on wellness programs. Lastly, when it comes to investing one's hard-earned money, one must exercise caution because some investments may provide long-term difficulties. For instance, purchasing small properties might contribute to future capital gains or passive income, but they require long-term financing, which will limit the contribution to the retirement fund. So it is best to avoid them as much as possible. Many also overlook the effects that inflationary pressures that and the problems brought on by economic downturns and recessions will have on the financial markets. This affects not only increase spending and living standards but also the value of your savings and possessions. One will be more aware of and prepared to adjust to these financial issues to protect their investment interests if one keeps an eye on changes in market dynamics. Alright, so finally, you may approach your retirement years with confidence by adhering to these fundamental guidelines and using the knowledge gained to avoid specific dangers. You may confidently work toward obtain the retirement of your dreams if you have a clear idea of how you want your retirement to look and if you take the appropriate steps today. So that's all from our group. Thank you.